Assalamu alaikum. May the peace and blessings of God be with you. You are viewing The Right Fit on IBN, the Islamic Broadcasting Network. I am Bibi Ajoda, former lecturer at Corinth Teachers College and retired school supervisor 3 with the Ministry of Education. Join us as we discuss several topics, including education, environment, health, and technology, to name a few. This platform aims to inform and educate you, our viewers out there, through our questions and discussions with subject matter experts. Today, we have in our studio a life coach, Miss Joan John Cumber Mac. You see, I said it, I would say it wrong. Sorry about that. And she's going to talk about coaching and intentional living. So hold it right there. We'll talk about coaching first and then intentional living. How do we slow down, get clear, and start making choices that truly align with who we are and what we value? To guide us through this powerful discussion is, can I call you Joan?
Yes, you can.
Joan, through this session here. Welcome to The Right Fit. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Bibi. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right, let's hear about who is Joan. Tell us a little bit about Joan.
All right. I am a life coach. My area of focus is personal growth. Prior to this, I spent 20 plus years working at Petrotron,
Wow.
primarily in the field of learning and development, focusing more on leadership development. Of course, employee development as a whole, but my core area was leadership development. So this is where I was introduced to coaching.
I see. So all that experience now you're taking it here to do your own coaching. Okay.
Yes.
So that's how you got into coaching and intentional living.
It happened, however, when Petrotron closed its doors,
Ah.
and I left my 9 to 5 or 7 to 4, as they say. I spent some time trying to figure out what's next for me. And it's during that time that I was reacquainted with coaching from this perspective of life coaching, because I went into that space where I was reflecting on what passed and what comes next. And then I realized all that I have been doing for the last 20 plus years was all about human development.
It was preparing you for this.
It was preparing me for
And
this.
this is a good story to let our viewers ponder on.
Yes.
Because sometimes, you know, as they say, one door closes, another opens, wider open, and they don't heed to it or take the cue. But you certainly did.
Exactly. That's how life goes around in circles. And sometimes we get caught up in the circles
Yep,
and we are not aware of where we need to step off.
true.
Fortunate for me, I was introduced to, I knew of Tony Robbins, but I decided to follow some of the programs that he did. I had sat in some of the online workshops, and one of the things that resonated with me was, going forward in my life, I need to take all of who I am, all my past experiences, my education, my learnings in and out of the job, and take that with me going forward.
Excellent.
So coaching wasn't like a next chapter for me. It was just a natural next step, natural fit.
And you know, audience out there, people hear about coaching, most of them will think a football coach, right? But we want to hear, what is life coaching about and why coaching?
Yes. So coaching is beyond athletics. Life coaching is about holding a space for persons to reflect and analyze their lives in a safe and non-judgmental environment. It's helping people to move themselves forward from where they are to where they desire to be, and building all the necessary awareness and skill sets in order to do that.
Okay, and this brings me to another one. How is life coaching? I mean, you kind of mentioned it there, a bit different from normal coaching. And what is that? How does it make a difference in the lives of people? How does this happen?
Oh, absolutely. one of the key things about life coaching is about building awareness. And from awareness, change happens.
Right.
Yeah?
Yes.
Coaching in the athletic field is someone who either has the skill of the sport or has done the sport before, and they impart that skill to you and give you guidance on how to improve yourself in that discipline.
Yep.
Life coaching is different. Life coaching crosses boundaries. It's not discipline oriented. It can be, but it's not. It's about all aspects of life. And I know we'll just be discussing the life domains at some point. So it's about covering all the life domains.
So you're not fixing anybody, you're just coaching,
Correct.
mentoring, holding hands, and walking with them.
Correct. Life coaching is not counseling, it is not psychology, it is not, what's the other one? It is not teaching, right? Although all of those fill elements in life coaching, because life coaching is non-directive. I do not tell you what to do.
You obviously would sit with someone and go through their past or where they are before you start coaching.
To start coaching, persons need to be in a space where they are ready to stop and reflect and analyze. I like to say that coaching is not for everyone.
Okay.
Coaching is for those persons who are ready to make change happen in their lives.
And you take the second question, who should seek coaching?
Coaching is for everyone.
Okay.
Right? Doesn't matter what profession you are in, or whether you're a homemaker, a professional doctor, lawyer, whether you are a student, because it's also suitable for youths. Coaching is for everyone. All that you need to benefit from coaching is to be open and willing to be honest with yourself and to look at yourself and your life with honest lens.
Excellent.
My role is to facilitate you in that process. You are the driver, I am the passenger, the co-pilot.
Or the co-pilot, okay.
Co-pilot.
All right. So does coaching and from your experience help them with their issues and challenges in life?
Definitely, definitely. There are some fields of coaching that does problem focus. I do not do problem focus. I focus on the person, right? But in any event, any style or modality of coaching is helpful because everyone has blind spots. Everyone. There are things that we don't see in our existence. Coaching can help you stop and take recognition and acknowledgement of all the things that you're carrying unconsciously. Right? We have baggage that we don't even know we have.
True, true.
Right? And what coaching does is that it causes you to pause, reflect, build awareness, and make decisions.
And start,
And
restart.
Restart, continue, however you want to put it. But it helps you to chart your way forward.
And that's what you are doing right now.
Yes.
So at the end, viewers out there, we will give you contact information, how to get to June. But we are continuing our conversation here. Sometimes people are a bit skeptical about this. They're hearing this on, and your phone might be ringing off the handle. But do you have an example or someone that you have helped that, without calling names, or that made a difference in their lives?
Absolutely. I've worked with quite a number of persons. I've been in business for 5 to 6 years, going on 6 years. There's a success story that I love to tell without giving too much personal information. A client of mine out in the UK, when she came to me, her claim was she's lost, she's stuck, she doesn't know what to do with herself, but she's not happy.
And that's plenty of us here,
Many of us. So I asked, what do you think is the issue? She said, I don't know. That's why I'm here. Now, this is a business owner, a successful business owner, right, who ran a hairdressing business in the UK. And what I do when I meet clients in the first encounter, especially when they confuse as to what to talk about or what to address, I like to look at what I call the life domains. And although we'll go in depth, it's about looking at the three elements of the life domains: health, wealth, and relationships.
Right.
In her case, when we did our analysis, relationships is where her imbalance existed.
So you'll be able to analyze where she is and what is happening in her life.
Yes.
So someone would come with you and you would be able to do that for them.
We can help focus.
them.
We can
Okay.
help focus to where the gaps are, where
Okay.
the limitations or the blocks are.
Uh-huh.
So in her case, it was relationships. So I worked with her initially on developing herself and understanding herself in relation to all the relationships that she has. So as a leader of her business, as a mother, as a daughter, as a friend, all the different areas that relationships resided, even in terms of her spirituality.
Excellent.
Right? And we identified where things were not working in her favor. We explored all the different things that led to her being in the current state, her belief system, her thought processes, and all these different things. And from that, working on herself and getting her to elevate her place of higher level awareness of who she is and who she wants to be, that's where we really launched.
Excellent.
I can say with her, we have gone through all the life domains. And it has honestly taken her from a place of being a business owner, high performance. She's a very successful person, very committed when she makes goals and goes for it. But filling that gap, bringing that awareness as to what is not working for her, that is where the life-changing element came in.
Yep.
Because that's the game changer. So she changed the nature of how she operated with her people. She changed her business focus. She changed her overall health. Actually, she suffered a major medical issue while we were coaching, and her doctors complimented her on her recovery within 3 months from a matter that usually takes 6 to 8 months to start recovering.
Oh my, that's excellent.
Yeah? She had almost a full recovery, going through physiotherapy and so on. But they were amazed. They said it was almost a miracle. And it all would be downed to the work that she had done mentally and emotionally
On herself.
on herself.
And that's a
So
lot
she
of
was-
people need
yes.
that, because like you said, no matter how good a business or work, the rat race goes on, but sometimes the inner self, who you are, is not really functioning, and
Yes.
that's what you did, there. Yep.
Yes, life will keep on life no matter what.
Yeah.
And any change that needs to take place has to start with you. I mean, we hear this all the time, but it is a fact. Change takes place with you first.
Yes, because like I tell people, when you're on an airplane with a child, they tell you, you put on your mask first.
Yes.
And then the child. So you have to see about yourself. You cannot look after people and you yourself need help.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
your stress sometimes transfer in the job to them or your thinking. And if you fix yourself first, it helps with the whole business or whatever you do in relationships. Even with your husband or wife or children too, I think that would be surely helpful to them.
Absolutely. So I practice breakthrough coaching, and with her working that process, she was able to elevate herself from seeing herself as just a hairdresser. Right today, currently, she's not just a hairdresser, she's also a hair transformation specialist.
Excuse me.
She works with cancer patients, especially those who have experienced alopecia, hair loss,
Yeah.
to help give them a new image to bring beauty back into their lives. And she has now migrated into doing prosthetics and breast forms in clothing. So she has a line of bath suits, a line of average clothing, suits and dresses, formal and non-formal, that helps to transform these persons who have gone through mastectomies and give them that normal looking presence so they feel more confident.
Exactly so.
And now she's moving into a next stage, the next stage, which is community outreach.
Oh,
Yes.
excellent. Because you say when we serve or we help others, we grow even bigger. And that's what we all here for. And she has grown, helping
Yes.
the cancer patients, helping now the community. And I think in Trinidad, if you bring it here, lots of us need that kind of coaching, help, find out what we can do to help others instead of bring them down.
Yes.
Let's really find ourselves to see what we can do to help society, our neighbors, friends, relatives.
Exactly, yes.
So I hope after this, a lot of people try to find themselves, see where they are going, and realize, hey, I need some help. Would they do that?
I remember at one of my workshops, I working with a mentor. One of the members of the class asked the mentor, so sir, when you feel stressed and frustrated, who do you go to? And he responded by saying, I go to my coach.
You see, he has somebody most people don't have
Yes.
anybody to go to.
And he's a master coach.
So even the masters need a help.
Yes.
And we all do.
Yes.
We all do. And we need that help to reach out to someone. Because some people go back now into it and they're in loneliness, they're in depression, all kinds of things, and don't realize they need to get somebody to help them, just to lift them out of what they have.
Yes.
And this country, we here in Trinidad, lots of people, I think, need that help, that other coach, that mentor to pull them out back to see their life. And look, a good example
Yes.
there. She was expanding her business
Yes,
after
beyond her reach, beyond her mental. At the time when we started, that was not even something she envisioned.
Imagine that.
So
And
as she grew, her reach grew.
I think lots of us don't realize our full potential, what we have inside. We just do the day-to-day work and didn't see, well, look, I could do this or that. And like your good example here, you left Petrotrin, but you bloomed into helping and coaching.
Well, it seems as though I was doing coaching long before that time. My God, I apologize. It's the watch.
Okay.
It came naturally. Being a learning and development specialist, your focus is on helping persons to close their performance gaps and elevate themselves in the organization and career-wise. Coaching felt like a natural fit to that. So all that I did in building, I have a master's in human resource management. My thesis, my practicum was on sustainable leadership. And everything I did just felt naturally into that field of life coaching. Personal growth is what I chose because that was my personal journey.
Exactly so. And you know, like in education, we said each person is unique and different, and they do have something to contribute.
Absolutely.
And just finding your passion and finding that what will give you, and they say when work is a joy when you're doing something you love. And lots of people, I think, looking to find, and they are lost in the whole maze of everything else. And this is good for our audience to look. I mean, we have older audience, different genre of audience, but this is something to look into. And it's not too late,
It is not too late.
to find your passion. So from coaching, you develop your program for intentional living. And I will ask our team out here to bring up some slides. And I want to quote from one of your flyers: living the life you align and design rather than living up to others' expectations is a choice you can make. And this brings us to what intentional living. Tell my audience there, what is intentional living? And we have slide 2 coming up, and they will see how you define or see what is intentional living.
Yes, absolutely. So as it says on the slide, intentional living is living in alignment with your purpose, passion, and values. I call it your PPVs. So your passion is those things that you feel energized by, that you have a real strong inclination to do. And your purpose is driven by what you feel that you were placed on this earth to accomplish.
Correct.
You know, what you think your calling is. And when you align those things with your values, and the values are either those values that were instilled in you as a child as you were growing up, or as you became an adult, you adapted to help you become more proficient and efficient. The three things together helps to shape what you consider to be your ideal version of yourself.
My audience need to hear that really, and to think about it,
Yes.
because especially young, sometimes students, they don't know what they want to do. They go to university, they change faculty, they change from one, nothing wrong with that, but they really do not know what is my calling, what am I going to do.
Exactly. And intentional living in a nutshell is really about getting that sense of awareness as to where you are, where you want to be, what the gaps are, and how to move yourself consciously, intentionally, one step at a time. That's what it really is.
I'm going to ask you a hard question. Students, secondary school or even tertiary, is there any kind of test or instrument they can use to say, well, this is my career path or this is how I should be going?
Oh, there are a number of assessments that could be done to help young people determine where they can align themselves in terms of what their passions are or what is evolving as their sense of purpose.
Ah.
I can't give you those tools now, but
No,
of course, and there's some free ones and there's
Yes.
some paid ones.
Yeah.
A common one that is used in the schools is the MBTI,
That's
the
great. Now-
Myers-Briggs,
Okay.
right? It's a personality test.
Okay.
Because what it says is when you get your results, it tells you what your strengths are, your personality strengths are, and your personality weaknesses are. So then you can look at the careers that would benefit from your strengths,
Right.
or the
that is-
careers that could be hurtful if because of your weaknesses.
and some of us square peg in wrong hold, and we
Exactly.
frustrated at where we are. And if we
Exactly.
really find out what we can do or what we are purpose on earth here to do,
Yes.
it will be such a nice mold for us.
Yes.
Because in education we have something called multiple intelligence, where children learn how you test them, and they learn that I am good at this, I could be good at that, or whatever. So I'm glad that there is something to help guide. Unfortunately, we don't hear about them, or people don't use them as much as they can to find themselves, finding purpose. And from your slide, I think you have one more point on that slide.
Yes.
Can we get back that slide up? Right. Anything?
Right. Growing in self-awareness. Any change that takes place starts from that place of self-awareness. If you are not aware of all your blind spots, then the decisions you make are not complete decisions. They're not based on complete understanding of who you are and what you want.
Give us an example of what people have as a blind spot and they wouldn't know that they have it, because we're trying to get the audience here to understand, right?
I don't know if you're familiar with the Johari window.
Yeah.
So in the Johari window, there's 4 quadrants. But what it says is there are elements of ourselves that we know and others know. And that there are elements of ourselves that we know that others don't know.
Of course. Yes.
But the blind spot occurs when there are elements of ourselves that we don't know and others don't know.
And we don't know, we don't
And we
know.
don't know, we don't know. So
Right.
it's like blind leading the blind in some circumstances.
Yep.
But when you start understanding how you show up, how your presence affect people and how people review and see you, and you start seeing where it's not in alignment with your perception of yourself, because you think that you're coming off as strong and someone is seeing you as arrogant.
Definitely.
There's
and we
a-
do have those
Yes.
kinds. You feel they know it all, and people, but I'm sure that's not it.
Exactly. I use a tool called the DISC, the DISC, Dominance, Influence, Steadiness, and Conscientiousness. It's a 4 quadrant. I don't know why they love 4 quadrants in behavioral therapy. But it's a 4 quadrant model. And it really does help people to understand their behavioral styles. Not just the psychometric, but your tendency to behave in certain ways in certain circumstances.
And I will add to that, a friend and I were discussing, and this person X, why are they so dominant? And they turn off people because they take control of the whole group and the team without being the one supposed to be in control. So, and I don't think some of them realize.
Exactly.
So at least
Exactly.
that could be helpful for people to use.
Oh, it is very useful. I use it with youths as well. I use it with youths as well. Because dominance is a behavioral style, and it has its place. So like you said, the person is not in a leadership role, but they're dominant. If you are that type of behavior, that's your style, that's your tendency, and you're not in a leadership role, you can derail the process of the team. But if you understand that that's your style, and you understand how to off-play it against steadiness, which is the opposite of it.
Right.
It's on the other diagonal. And be more supportive of the person who's in leadership role, you can lead from behind.
Definitely. Or you could turn off people and they will just drop off the group. And, you know,
Yeah.
local, we can't take her on or him on, you know, dominant and control.
Yeah, you learn how to use your strengths to benefit the greater good. That's the whole thing about it. And again, it's because you now have the awareness that that is your strength, that is your strong style, but it's not valuable at this point in time because you're not in a leadership role.
Correct.
So how do I use my dominant style to support the leader?
Right.
I can become their advisor, I could become their mentor, because you can mentor from behind.
Wow, we need to talk a little more of that. And we will pause for a good cause here as we come back, and we're talking about intentional living, behavior, people, and we're analyzing a little bit, and we are getting help from our coach, Joan. So let's take a break, and we'll be right back.
Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an oasis, now why wait? Never too early, never too late to recharge and hydrate. Get your daily dose the right way. Grab an oasis, now why wait? The greatest, the safest oasis for sure. Oasis, it's purer than pure.
When the moment comes to honor a loved one, compassion, dignity, and faith matter most. Come to Shyam's Islamic Funeral Services Limited. We provide trusted Islamic funeral and burial services, grounded in tradition and handled with care. From ghusl and shrouding to transportation, janaza coordination, burial arrangements, and special international repatriation services of your loved ones. With professionalism, with respect, with heart. Shyam's Islamic Funeral Services Limited, serving our community with honor.
Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's high. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Punch any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's high. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Try our new passion fruit flavor today. Taste the passion.
Welcome back to The Right Fit. Talking to Ms. Joan on intentional living. And prior to the break, we were going through some of the points on our slide. So let's go back to that slide and see, did we cover all the points there? Who is it for? No, designing your life, not reacting to it. I like that one.
You do?
Yes.
All right. What the program helps persons to do is to take charge of their future and start charting their course. I use the term roadmap to describe what this program does. It helps you build your roadmap. And I take you through the different building blocks to help you build your roadmap. So designing your life is building that roadmap towards the desired end result or the desired version of yourself and the life that you want to live. And it's about doing it in a very reflective, very conscientious process, and less so reactive.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of us live lives in a very reactive state. We respond to things that occur to us. This program helps you to take your life to a place where things are happening with you and for you, not just to you.
Yep. I mean, very reactive, we just going
Yes.
out in fires, or just this happened, and we're not thinking, as you said, internalizing and getting to be the person you were born to be.
Exactly. If you look at that slide again, the very last part of it,
The last part of the
it
slide.
talks about who
Yeah.
is the program for. And I say it's anyone who is willing to reflect honestly. Because in this program, I like to say you have to face yourself, your whole self, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Honest.
Honestly. If you do not and you're not able to do that, this program will not be for you. It
Yeah.
will not be fruitful.
You're in denial.
You'll be in denial.
Yep. So if you really want to truly come out with your creativity or who you are, you can't be in denial. You have to accept who you are, and all of us have strengths and weakness and faults, and we could improve on that to be the creative or whoever we are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it's a busy world. We always running on job, traffic. We say sometimes some of us are on autopilot.
Yes.
Why do you think so many people feel like they are on autopilot? And I think you have a slide for that one too.
Yes.
All right. Slide 3 coming up. Right. Let's hear.
So autopilot is as it says. You put your gears into cruise control and you rock back and you just go in with the flow. That's autopilot. I usually use a visual. It's like being on a roundabout that goes around and you don't know where the turn-offs are.
I like
So
that
you can't
one.
get off the roundabout. So
You like that one.
the program will help you to pause long enough to identify your turn-off.
Okay. That's a good example.
Bring the slide back up again.
All right. So that's point 1. Don't go on the roundabout and keep going round and round.
That's how life is, eh?
Yes.
We are busy people in different places in life. Some of us are professionals, even doctors and lawyers. I've dealt with persons in that professional area, and they say the same thing. They're busy accomplishing stuff, they're busy serving their clients, they're busy getting things done, and they feel as though it's just a continuous rat race for them.
That's why I use the word
And
rat
they don't
race.
have pause.
Yeah, no pause. You're just
Yeah.
going. Get up, eat, sleep, go to work, come back, go back again, come back late. Oh, and if you have more work on the
Yes.
computer, and you're going and going.
Yes. And also those persons who are living in accordance with other people's directions, whether it is by obligation or whether it is because of the nature of the position that you hold in the company, and you feel that you have to elevate yourself to a certain level to meet the demands of your supervisors or your managers. And then there are the persons who are operating under fear.
Say a housewife at home. You have to prepare meals, do X, Y, Z, children and everything, and she's not looking after herself.
Oh my gosh, that's a common one. The
Uh-huh.
homemakers who take care of everyone else but themselves. And that analogy you gave a little while ago about the airplane,
Yep.
when I meet persons like that, I give that analogy. You need to save yourself first in order to be able to save other people.
Definitely.
What is the sense of you running yourself down and then ending up with a terminal illness? And then the persons who are depending on you, what's going to happen to them?
Exactly. And I keep telling women that especially.
Yes.
Yes.
Men too.
We are we all doing that, and we giving, and
Yes.
not looking after ourselves.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so autopilot is all about that. It's about doing the things that are expected of you, not necessarily what you need to do to fulfill your own desire for yourself.
So you have to tell our audience out there, please look after yourselves. Okay. And we have another point on that slide, the same slide on autopilot. Yep.
Yeah? Making choices out of habit, that's a very important one to note.
Yeah.
We are so used to the lives that we are living, sometimes we are blind to the fact that it's not working for us. We are in a state of unhappiness, but we rationalize it. It's because it has to happen. This is just the way life is. We say, it is what it is. I hate that statement.
I have
It is
to
not
do this.
what it is. It's what
Yeah.
you make it.
A lot of people live like that.
Yes,
I have
they
to
do.
do that because of child, somebody need it or whatever, and somebody told me there is nothing you have to do. The only thing you have to do is die.
Is die. Well, that's the only constant and given, right?
Yes.
That you will die.
Yeah.
But between birth and death, that's where you have control.
Yep. Yep. You
Yes.
do have control. That's a good point. People who think so, they must be giving back to everything, especially caregivers and mothers at home. At
Yeah.
home, they're giving all they have to do. And do we have another point on the slide for our audience to tell us about? All right.
So we talk about feeling disconnect or stuck. There's something I discovered with myself when I left Petrotrin. I come in from a place of being a high-performing employee, a master's degree holder, so I'm up there. And then all of a sudden, I am doing nothing and I don't know what to do with myself. I realized that I was not feeling stuck. I was feeling disconnected. My anchor was the job. It made up who I thought I was.
Ah.
You take that away, and then I started to float. Very listless, very directionless. So I had to come to terms with that understanding that the job is not who I am. It was what I did.
Yes.
So now I'm moving on to do something else.
Excellent. And some people think they wear the job on their forehead.
Yes.
They walk with it. I am this or I am that, and they forget they're only a human being.
Yeah. I lived in that state of imbalance for so long that it became comfortable and it became habitual.
Uh-huh.
So that's why that comment about doing things based on habit. For want of a bad experience or a good example, someone who's experiencing domestic abuse and goes back into it continuously.
Good example.
All right?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's fear, but it's also born out of habit. They say you live with the devil, you know, and you don't want to go to the devil, you don't know. So you're
I'll
afraid to step out of it.
So I'll stay and take the
And
abuse.
Yes.
Oh,
I know, because
it's a
that's
good
what you're
example.
used to.
Yeah.
And life does that to us. We get beaten into submission in a number of areas. And we sit comfortably in it because we think, well, I'm used to this.
They wallow in the
And we
mud.
don't even think about what else is there out there for me,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
you know?
So, is there another point on the autopilot slide? Yep.
Yeah. I like that, that little challenge I have there. Ask yourself, what feels misaligned? Which area of life do I hope to change? And am I living as I wish or just managing other people's expectations?
That's a good one
yes.
for our audience to dwell upon it and reflect about it. A very good one to think. If, are you living your life that you should be living or enjoying it? Are you happy? Are you at peace? So, Joan is putting us to think here. And, in terms of life and everything, some of us say balance in life.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
We must have a balanced life, eat, sleep, exercise, or whatever. But you talk about, initially, we talk about the domains that may affect your life.
Yes.
Or that and they can create imbalance or balance. So let's talk about the domains, and I think you have a slide on the domains.
Yes.
Right, let's hear about those.
So in my coaching,
Yeah, this
I
slide's there.
bring forward the understanding that life has three main domains: health, wealth, and relationships. So health speaks to the different states of being. It speaks to the mindset, which is how you think, how you look at your thinking process as well. So we talk about things like fixed mindset and growth mindset. Some people may have known about these things already and some people don't. So fixed mindset is when you have that rigid construct of how you think, and growth mindset is more flexible and allows you to think outside the box.
Right.
And then you have heart set. Heart set speaks to your emotional well-being, how you feel and how you deal with your emotions, how you manage your emotions. And then you have your health set. Health set speaks about your caring for your physical body. And of course, there's soul set.
Yes.
Soul set is where my heart is. It speaks to your relationship with your God or your higher being.
Yes.
It speaks to your inner understanding of your inner self.
Who you are and who am I.
Yes.
Yep.
Right? So those 4 states of being helps to encapsulate what the health domain speaks to.
Right.
And then you speak about wealth.
Yep.
Wealth speaks to not just money, not just what car you drive or what home you have or what house you do. It speaks about your relationship with money. And in my experience and studies, I realize many of us are not trained to develop a relationship with money.
That's a good point.
Yes. We are not taught how to deal with money, how to manage money. We are taught about working for an income and using that income to manage the means by which we live, pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your, put food on the table.
Right.
Right? Invest too. If you're taught about, you must invest, you must save, but the relationship you have with money is often an emotional relationship. And we're not taught that.
No.
Right? And usually people who have, those people who are in chronic debt, what therapists do with them is help them understand that relationship. And they work with them to help build a better, healthier relationship with money, to alleviate them from going back into this chronic debt situation.
Living it up and just buying and spending that what you didn't earn.
You know the statement that shopping is my therapy?
Yeah.
It's a real thing for many people, and for me at one time in my life, it was also my therapy. But I managed it in that when I spent a small amount of money to get something that I found was cute, usable, whatever, and it filled that gap, that need for that therapy.
Right.
But there are many people who don't have that ability to manage themselves, and they spend big, and they expel all their funds, and then they go through periods of, I don't have money to do this, I'm in debt, or I'm broke, or But the bottom line is, your relationship with money is an emotional relationship. And part of looking at the life domain is looking at that first, and then looking at the other elements, which is your financial capability, and also your financial wellness.
Right.
Right? So working with clients to find out where they are now, how do they move forward, and dealing with that relationship. Right? And then the other part of the domain is the relationships part. A lot of people, when they do the assessment, resonate heavily in relationships because that's the part that most of us are more aware of. All right?
Right.
We have blind spots and so on, but we are more, in tuned with relationships as part of the life domains. And oftentimes that's where we start when we start coaching. We start looking at life domains. So relationships look at your spousal relationships, relationship with your husband or your wife. It looks at your relationships within your family. So that means you and your children, you and your siblings, and extend it further. It looks at your social relationships, your friendships,
Right.
your support systems, And it also looks at your occupational relationships.
Your work
On the
yourself.
job,
On the
your
job.
relationship with your superior, your subordinates, your peers.
And I think we have trauma in all
Oh
areas.
my word, that word trauma, that's a beautiful word. We spoke about that some time ago. Trauma exists in all aspects of the domains.
I think it's getting worse.
Yes.
I wonder why.
That's for another show.
Another program.
That's a big, big one.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
hearing it all around.
All around.
Whether it's a relationship with the children and parents, at the office, wherever you are hearing this word.
Well, I'll give you a little hint. Trauma does not necessarily mean only injury and hurt. Trauma has different meanings, and it occurs in different ways. There are minor traumas and there are major traumas. Yes. So anyway, back to the 3 life domains.
Yes.
The reality is, at any given one point in time, we may be existing in an imbalance. An imbalance means that for us, and note your 3 life domains may be different from mine.
Correct.
All right? Because it's what drives me. There are people who are highly ambitious and materialistic. So imbalance for them might be just dipping a little bit under the wealth domain. And for me, it might be dropping further down.
All right.
Because I am not focused on that. But the other areas of the domain that I need my focus on, relationships, health, where I need it to be elevated. So for everybody, it's different. Everyone has a different balance.
Right.
But the reality is, if there's imbalance in one of them, it affects the others. And the reason is the three of them operate as a holistic system.
Excellent.
And they are integrated and interrelated.
Yep. Give us an example when one is down and they're not balanced.
Oh, easiest one, finance.
Oh, yes.
I am currently in finance imbalance. So if I do not have the financial capability to take care of the needs that I have, to take care of my my health needs, pay for my medicine, pay for doctor visits and those things, then that's an imbalance.
And then it affects?
It affects your ability to be. Well, being healthy means that you're going to present yourself better or represent yourself better in your relationships. You're good of healthy mind, healthy emotion, healthy physically. And then in terms of relationships, if your financial capability is preventing you from being who you need to be in your relationship, let's say you're the man, the breadwinner, but your financial status is not allowing you to fulfill that role as breadwinner, that creates imbalance.
Of course, and then a low self-esteem comes.
And it runs into the relationship. And then back into finance because it puts a strain.
Yes.
So anywhere there is an imbalance, it creates strain and frustration that impacts the other areas.
Wow.
If it's relationship, the imbalance is in relationship. An imbalanced relationship with your spouse or with your employer, let's use that one as a common one.
Yes.
Imbalance on the job. You believe that because of your position, you're not in a place to say or control or direct how you do your work. That creates imbalance.
Yes.
What happens next? Either you leave the job or you become dissonant on the job.
Or you get fired.
Or you get fired.
Yes.
And dissonance is one of the things that is very common. There are people working on jobs unhappy and they rebel.
And they quarrel and
they
they
rebel.
murmur and they everything else and they're
Yes.
just not in it.
Right? And it
Yeah.
affects everything. So you're not going to get the promotion because of your behavior and your performance. That affects your finances.
Of
And
course.
the cycle goes again.
Living intentionally, really. You spoke about it, but for our audience, who is intentional living is for whom?
It's for everyone. All right? It's for everyone anyone, I should say, who is ready to pause and reflect and determine and assess where they are and make that decision as to where they want to be. And when I say so anyone who's willing to pause and reflect, as I said before, to honestly take stock of what is going on with yourself and in your life. Because to make those movements, those steps forward, that honest filter is necessary. If you don't have that, you're liable to fall right back into old traps.
Because you're in
And
denial.
make the same mistakes you made before.
Because I'm not going to accept who am I.
Exactly.
And that takes some strength, inner strength somewhere, somehow,
Yes.
to understand that. And this brings us to about self-awareness. You must be aware yourself by now, who you are, what you want, but you have a sliding. What role does self-awareness plays in intentional living? And we have another slide here. Can you take us through this lovely slide?
Oh, this is the roadmap I referred to.
Right.
So when you start on the program, Intentional Living, as I said, it's a journey. So you start building the blocks that will lead you towards, as we have the target. So you notice it has 4 major areas or segments, right?
Right.
Awareness, gap analysis and requirements, targets, and sustainability.
Keeping it going.
So on the program, I take you through a process where you explore who your ideal self is. And the ideal self is the idealistic version of who you want to be. Some people will say, I want to be a millionaire. I want to live in a penthouse. I want to have X amount of businesses, whatever. That's the ideal self.
Okay.
When I dealt with one client, they were like, I don't know how to determine my ideal self. I was never raised to be a dreamer. So I was like, really? I said, all right, if you were to win the lotto, and let's say the lotto is 20 million, what would your life be like?
Now we get it.
So that opens the door to possibilities. The ideal self is a look at what your possible future could be and what you would like it to be. all barriers and boundaries removed, what would it be? The next stage is to look at your real self. So you start with your pie in the sky, or your castle in the sky, and now you're looking at the reality of who you are.
Accepted,
Yes. So you're looking at all of who you are, who you are to yourself, who you are to the people around you.
Right.
Because I use a model called how you look at yourself, how you see your world, how you think about your world, how you show up in that world, so how people look at you, right? And then how you're being for yourself, how you show up for yourself. Right?
Excellent.
And that is what helps to shape the real, the real self. When you take the real self and you put it together with the ideal self, that's where you identify your gaps.
Right.
And that's your first stage of growth.
On your road.
Yes, on that road, on that journey. So I use a number of gap analysis methodologies and activities to help you get there. And once you've identified the gaps that exist, the next stage on the model is to now develop a learning plan. What do I need to move forward from the ideal and real self? How do I create that learning space? What I need to access, whether it's finance resources, whether it's support systems, whether it is learning. Sometimes you need to go and educate yourself further to elevate your knowledge base. So all those things that I need now to close the gap, what are they? And I start building a plan for gap closure.
Right.
Once that plan is done, I usually in a session, we would look at 3 things that we want to focus on, but I ask them for the session to focus on the most pressing issue, the most pressing gap. Right? And we build from there on that gap. The next stage is when your plan is in place and you have all the moving parts put together, how do you go about experimenting now? Because coaching is a safe place, it's a place for you to experiment with the different things and put it in place in your life and see how it works. I like to say experiment and practice, right? So if this is not working, intentional living doesn't lock you into that. You can now say, realistically, this is not going to work for me, and move it into something else.
Excellent. So you have a choice there.
You have choice. Well, it's all about choices.
Yep.
Right? And once you find the practice that is working for you, you move to the next stage.
And you get into your target there.
That's right. So that is where you now lock in what your growth map targets look like. And you build it out where you have your targets, your sub-targets, or goals, sub-goals, your activities, and all the supporting things to make those activities come to fruition. And I like to also include time.
Time management, of
Time.
course.
Because it's one thing to say, I am going to step into this role in the future. The future could be next week, it could be next month, it could be next year, it could be next 5 years.
Unfortunately, our time is running out here.
Oh gosh.
And what can you tell us your closing comments? And we want to give them a slide to tell them about you, where they can find you. So let's see the slide closing comments. So, right, closing.
Yeah.
Intentional living is a journey, not a destination. Start where you are, one conscious choice at a time. And go ahead.
In a nutshell, that's what it is.
Is
You can start anywhere, and the point is to start.
start somewhere, sometime. Go ahead. And let's say some details where people can find you.
Yes. So the business name is Outlier Consulting Services Limited. Website is under construction right now.
Okay.
All right, but my contact number is 868-682-6568, or you can reach me by email, jjc.joan@outliercsl.com.
Okay.
And below you see that I have a presence on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, but Facebook is more social. And also, if you wish, you can either call me to pre-book yourself for the program, because I will tell you, I'm doing a soft launch in March.
Okay.
And the soft launch is with a limited number of persons.
All right.
Right? It's to do fine-tuning and testing. The hard launch is scheduled for May, June.
Okay. So if they got your number there, and they can contact you for both sessions or one, depending on where you want to go and what's your journey like. All
Yes.
right? So time has run out, and maybe we will get back, Ms. Jones, some other time again. All right? Thank you so much for being with us and sharing this lively conversation here on intentional living. All right? I think our people, our viewers would go home, they are in their homes, or walk away with some sort of message or something that they learned and they could try and
Yes.
start today. All
Yes,
right?
start today.
Start today. Okay? To our viewers there, get going, start today. Once again, I want to thank Almighty God for this privilege. Thanks to my coach, Miss Joan John Cumberbatch. Did I say it right?
Cumberbatch.
Oh my God. See, many thanks to the management and staff of IBN, Sadiq and Saif, and Siddiqa. Join us again next Monday at 8 p.m. with a rerun on Saturday at 5 p.m. Drop us a line if you would like to be on this forum, or if you have a question to be asked on this forum. Next week we discuss social media, especially as it pertains to youth. All right? See you next week. Assalamu alaikum. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Introducing Kaya's Halal Natural Juices and Punches. Try our wide range of juices including orange, orange pine, Morbi, fruit punch, grapefruit, and sorrel. Also, try our delicious punches including peanut, sea moss, linseed, and beetroot. Manufactured by Kaya's Wholesale and Retail Goods and Services. Contact us at 351-9858 or 769-2846. Kaya's Halal Natural Juices and Punches.
The power. To shatter the strongest. Conquer the indestructible with Ronix collection of angle grinders.
Construction Services and Supplies Limited has built a reputation over the years on reliability, honesty, and pride, with a qualified and experienced workforce to oversee all projects, commercial, industrial, and institutional. We deliver the highest quality designs, build and remodel equipped for the pulse of construction needs. Construction Services and Supplies Limited, 1324 Southern Main Road in Rapport, 648-8882. That number again, 648-8882. Construction Services and Supplies Limited. We are proud to partner with you.
Chic Leisure Limited, making life easier. Our renowned great tasting vermicelli comes pre-cut in regular